how I look at weather is the opposite team has to deal with it too. And I like playing football regardless if it's in snow, sleet, sun, whatever. So I don't. It doesn't really stop what we want to do. We just change some things.
Eli left practice today with his stomach bug. Is he just, should we give him normal delivery? That defense got to pick it up.
He'll be ready. We're not worried about that.
Do you think the 49ers would be capable of doing what they did in the last 5 minutes of that game against your defense?
I guess time will tell. I mean, obviously they had a great run there, and I think a lot of people were surprised considering that's not how that team has won their games. Coming from behind, things like that. But they stepped up and made the plays when they needed to make them. So obviously they have a very talented football team, and pretty much it.
With JPP, I know you tried to help him when he was young, but how much has it changed with now you really not having to be a mentor to him, where there's still things
I think he's grown a lot. We still talk about a lot of different things, and but I think the biggest difference is he has so much talent that a lot of things he come and ask me about, he played it correctly anyway, just off being just as talented as he is. But he's did a great job this year. Regardless of the numbers he's had, he's always been that type of guy that just wants to learn more about football. Because face it, he up until this year he hadn't played that much. So he's done a great job with that, and with all the success that he's had, he hasn't changed a bit. He's still in the meeting room with us and asking the questions that need to be asked that can pertain to him getting better. And I mean, so far it's just he surprised me with that.
When you looked on film and saw not only the strip sack, but mostly what he prevented,
I mean, we've seen a lot of that, so it wasn't like I was surprised by it. It just seemed like it happened at the right time, and it could have been a big play for Green Bay, but that's why we got 11 guys on the football field. We got each other's back, and sometimes you're gonna need that. Sometimes somebody's gonna be in the wrong position, and you can cover a lot of those things up by 11 guys playing as one.
that looked like it wasn't just the one where he runs around the edge and just swipes. I mean, he the double team looked
Yeah.
to the inside.
Looks like he's healthy, huh?
Looks like he can do more than that, up the field, swipe.
Well, a lot of people like to pigeonhole OC, but I always said that he's one of the more complete defense ends that we have in this league.
Tom Coughlin was saying earlier about your situation several weeks ago. You just said, I'm going to block out any distractions. This is about your injury situation. Do you think he meant distractions about people questioning you, or you blocking out, pain?
Both.
Say,
Both. I mean, it's been one of those years where it just seems like when you get it, you seem like you got it right. You seem like your body's starting to feel good. Something else happens, and when that happens, obviously there's gonna be people questioning you about, where's your heart at and things like that. So, my teammates know where my heart is. My coaches know where my heart is, and I know that I just came to a realization. I'm not gonna be healthy this year. I'm not gonna be, I'm not gonna put up the stats that I've put up. But that doesn't mean I can't help this football team win games. At the end of the day, that's the end goal, and that's what I meant by blocking all the other stuff out.
Justin, can you talk about the mentality this team's had? And you've been around it for the Road Warriors, playoff games. What is it about the road games that this team seems to love so much?
It's just that concept of us against the world, I guess. You don't have anything else to fall back on but your teammates, and I think that goes a long way with building trust, with building that belief in the fact that regardless of who we go face, if we just take that core guys, those 53 guys and the coaching staff and owners on that plane going to wherever we go, we can come out victorious. And I mean, it's just a mindset that's been instilled in us ever since Coach Coughlin's been here.
How much does the momentum factor into how the team's playing right now? Each week seems better and better and better.
Yeah, I think we're a team that's ascending. Obviously, the last couple of weeks we played pretty good on just about every phase of the game. But I know it's cliche to say, but we're going to need our best game this week in all three phases because San Fran and us are kind of built the same. We're consistent on defense. You got offenses. Ours might be a little bit more explosive, but obviously they show they have that knack too in that New Orleans game. So it's going to be a real good game. But I mean, momentum for us right now is sky high, and it's something that we hopefully can continue to ride into the Super Bowl.
A lot of times, tight ends have to worry about the week. Do you have to worry about him a little bit this week? Can you get a big man coming off?
We don't worry about anybody. It's all about what we do. And will we have something in to kind of slow him down? Sure we will. But at the end of the day, we're not going to put too much emphasis in what they do. As long as we do what we do. Vernon had a great game, and he's a great athlete, great tight end. It just seems like other than quarterbacks, tight ends will have the best year this year. It just seems like. So I know he's going to be a tremendous focal point for us going in that football game. But at the end of the day, it's about what we do.
In those weeks this year, you were feeling especially the physical elements. Was it extra important to you to kind of show leadership in other ways? How do you think that helped, make you a stronger leader in terms of your
I mean, for me personally, it's tough to, how I like to lead is by example, by going out on the football field and do it. So this year has been tough for me in that regard as far as leadership, but it was growing pains for me too. Learning how to still get your point across without doing it on the football field, which I had previously liked to do. But the one thing that I learned this year was, the guys respect what you've done, and a lot of times I wouldn't say anything, and guys come up to me and was like, "Why you so quiet?" or "Why you didn't do this or do that?" And I tell them why, and they came to me and was like, "You know what? You don't have to worry about that. We know you're not 100%. We know, but that doesn't stop you from being a leader." So I guess I got that, the okay from other players to still be the vocal leader, still be showing leadership, even though I wasn't doing it on the football field at that time. No question. No question.
You put together a body of work over your career, but to actually hear your teammates say that, is that kind of
Yeah, because it just shows. At the end of the day, the only people that really matter are the people that you play for. I mean, that you play for and that you play with. And as long as they appreciate what you do and they know that you're giving it your all, it doesn't matter what other people outside say. So at the end of the day, that went a long way for kind of getting me mentally on track, I guess.
Was there one moment, that might be it, what you were just talking about, was there one moment you just said, that's it, a conversation, a realization, epiphany from you that said, all right.
There goes that word again, epiphany. I guess that, it would have been the epiphany of my year, I guess. But at the end of the day, I think it was a lot of things. Coach Coughlin's conversation, I've had conversations with several players, just being at home by myself, looking in the mirror. It's been a lot of things that have, I guess, pushed me to just say, you know what, just go play football, and whatever happens, happens.
Is there a temptation? Two more questions. Is there a temptation to say to your people who question you,
It's a temptation to say a lot of things, but, like I said, go play football.
Were you able to take anything away from the last time you guys faced Frank Gore, or do you say he was hurt?
I mean, you can kind of see what their blocking schemes were. But like you just said, he was kind of banged up in that game, so we expect to see, a healthy Frank Gore. Obviously, it's going to be a huge challenge for us. He's been a workhorse for them for not only this year but for years in the past too. And I'm sure that they're going to try to establish their running game with Frank and with Hunter. Hunter's a great change-up back for them, and it's going to come down to us, being able to stop that. They're a smash mouth type of football team, and they're going to stick with it until you stop it. They repeat plays and for good reason. And if I was playing a Madden game and I loaded up the box and ran the ball over you all game, I wouldn't change it either. So that's going to be kind of a part of our man-on-man, just making sure that we get them out of that game. And if we're able to do that, we stand a good chance to come out with a win. If not, it's going to be a long day in San Fran.
if you're not playing Madden, you're playing real football?
But I'm not an offensive coordinator in real football. In Madden, I am.
all right, thanks. Team is up next. Peter.